All right, we already know that Donald Trump has made a mess out of the White House, the actual people's house, trying to build this 90,000 square foot gold ballroom. And we know that he swore up and down it won't cost you, the taxpayer, a single dime. Not one. It was very clear. It was a gift from patriots, a beautiful, generous, mostly anonymous gift from patriots. And yet, there are more reports telling us who the patriots are and what they got back in return. And it turns out that a gift and a grift aren't that far apart. Just one letter difference, or about the difference between $338 billion.
President Trump had previously insisted the project would not affect the East Wing, which for decades housed the First Lady's offices.
A watchdog group, Public Citizen, did the one thing that nobody in this administration wanted done. They made a list of the donors. 27 corporate donors to quid pro Comover's Ballroom. And then they checked what those same companies have been getting back from the federal government. And it's not subtle. These donors hold $338 billion in federal contracts. And in just the last 6 months, after their donations, 14 of them landed new or bigger government contracts worth over $50 billion. Lockheed alone accounts for $44 billion of it. So this ballroom costing $400 million or so, the patriots who chipped in have pulled $50 billion out of the Treasury since. Great return on investment in a short time period. But those contracts, they're not even the dirtiest part. The dirtiest part is what happened to their legal problems. 16 out of these 27 were already staring down federal enforcement. Antitrust cases, fraud probes, reviews of their mergers. And after their donation checks cleared, watch the magic happen. Coinbase, the SEC charges dropped. Ripple, the SEC quietly drops their appeal against them. Microsoft, the case against their merger, gone. T-Mobile, merger investigation, closed. You can go ahead. And my favorite, Union Pacific. They have an $85 billion merger that needs the federal government to sign off on it. And a regulator on the board objected to it, kept objecting to it. They donated to the ballroom, and Trump fired the objecting regulator. You donate, and your cases develop a mysterious rash or a limp and just go away. It is a very, very expensive get-out-of-jail-free card, and we are handing it to some of the biggest companies in our country. And these companies that wrote a check and politely hoped for goodwill, that's not what happened. These were companies with active federal cases against them, and they handed money to the man whose government was prosecuting them. And then, once the check cleared, the prosecutions dissolved. If this happened in any courthouse in America, if the defendant slipped the judge $400,000 for a home renovation, and then the judge quietly dismisses the charges, we've got a word for that. And I can tell you, it's not philanthropy. The only difference here is the scale of it and the address, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. And the bribe is bigger, and the courthouse is just that White House. And the genius of all of this is routing it through this ballroom is that it launders the whole thing into a completely different debate. It stops being a payment to a regulator and becomes a generous gift to protect our national landmark. Same money, same favor, just now we're talking about a gaudy ballroom instead of a bribe. And remember, though, this is a man who looked you in the eye and said not one dime of taxpayer money. And if this thing were paid just by these donations, it would be technically true. But we also saw that his own party tried to slip a $1 billion taxpayer charge into their budget bill for ballroom security. You were never not going to pay. You were just paying on the back end. And then you have the corporations. All of them that should have been fined, money going back to the taxpayers. Or they should have been broken up. to protect you, the consumer. Instead, they got a thank you dinner, a clean record, and we're getting a ballroom. We were always going to pay. Always. The most powerful corporations in America are laundering your dollars, your taxpayer dollars, and they will keep calling it a gift. But I want you to subscribe, I want you to comment, I want you to like, because we are going to keep calling it what it really is, a grift. And every time someone brings this story up, someone should stand there and ask, who actually paid for it? Because it was us. It was always going to be us.